Imagine, if you will, getting this rare glimpse into the secret labs where the next really big AI model, maybe something like GPT-5, is being built. Not behind closed doors, but right there, kind of unfolding before your eyes.
Yeah, it's less like your typical product launch and maybe more like ship this in July.
Yeah.
We're seeing these mysterious fragments pop up, hinting at a new heavyweight contender. And it really suggests a big shift in how these powerful systems are being developed worldwide.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a journey through some really fascinating news sources. Our goal here is to unpack the very latest in artificial intelligence. Our mission really is to make sense of this complex web of innovation that's shaping the field right now.
Absolutely. We're going to pull back the curtain on these enigmatic AI models, explore a whole wave of surprisingly practical new tools, and then we'll zoom out, look at the bigger picture, this global strategic chess match playing out between two very different AI philosophies. It's going to be a deep dive into what's happening right now and, maybe more importantly, what's just coming over the horizon.
Okay, let's unpack this first piece. Our first significant insight comes from a really intriguing observation that's been making waves. The appearance and then the sudden disappearance of 6 mysterious AI models on LM Arena.
That's right. These models, they had code names like Zenith, Summit, Lobster, Starfish, Nectarine, and O3 Alpha. They just appeared. And almost immediately, they started crushing some incredibly tough coding tasks, showing off capabilities we just haven't seen publicly. Then, classic OpenAI style, poof, vanished as quickly as they came. It was quite something to watch.
Right, and here's where it gets really interesting. The AI community pretty quickly started theorizing that these weren't separate models, but fragments. Components, maybe, of the GPT-5 everyone's waiting for. Think of them like individual parts being tested before the whole thing is assembled. Summit, for example.
Yeah.
The reports say it generated over 2,300 lines of working Starship UI code on its very first attempt. That's not just good. That's kind of an unprecedented level of complex output on a first go.
And it wasn't just Summit either. Zenith and O3 Alpha.
Yeah.
They seemed to lead at reasoning and, general coding stuff. Lobster and Starfish felt maybe lighter, possibly open source variants, some people speculated. The main theory, which is pretty cool, is that these are pieces of a mixture of expert system, AOE. It's this powerful way to build AI. Imagine like stacking specialized Lego blocks of data and algorithms. Each block is good at one thing. Combine them, and you get a much more capable, efficient system. And the idea is they'll eventually fuse into, well, GPT-5. It's a clever way to scale up.
This modular strategy, it seems genuinely ingenious. OpenAI is essentially running live A/B tests on future AI cognition, right? They're watching how these pieces perform in the wild, getting tons of data, fine-tuning them. It's even reportedly outpacing Claude Sonnet 4, which for a long time was seen as the coding champ. And sure, Grok 4 might be keeper, but these fragments, they really suggest GPT-5 is shaping up to be the heavyweight in raw capability.
And what's fascinating here is that this MOE approach, this modular style, it probably isn't just for GPT-5. It's likely going to stick around for future versions, maybe even through GPT-8, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So when GPT-5 officially drops, it won't feel like some big surprise reveal. It'll be more like, oh yeah, we saw the pieces of this already.
Wow.
And connecting this back, it really is shipments in July. We're watching OpenAI build its next big thing live in public. Instead of some staged event, they're kind of inviting the whole internet, the whole AI community to watch and even participate through these public tests.
Whoa.
Just imagine the scale of that. Scaling to, what, 1 billion queries? Seeing these pieces actually come together in real time is quite something. So what would you say is the biggest takeaway from seeing GPT-5 built out in the open like this? AI development is becoming open. It's like a real-time public beta, speeding up progress and getting everyone involved.
Okay, so that's the high-end frontier. But what does this all mean for what AI can actually do, like right now, in our daily lives? Let's shift gears a bit and dive into some of the more immediate practical highlights our sources picked up on.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see these things emerge, like OpenAI's ChatGPT agent. It was shown just smoothly clicking through Cloudflare's CapTCCH checkbox, the I'm not a robot thing. And the coolest part, it apparently narrates what it's doing.
Yeah.
Explains its own success as it browses. That's a small step, maybe, but significant for autonomous agents.
That narration piece, it really does hint at a deeper level of understanding, doesn't it? We also saw this viral, 45-minute tutorial showing how to set up Claude Code to automate some surprisingly complex tasks. And then there's that story, really fascinating, about someone building an entire AI business from scratch in just 2 hours. And it actually worked. It really points towards a future where, solopreneurship, small business, it's getting way more automated, lowering the barriers.
hmm And building on that work impact idea, there's this new study from Anthropic. It breaks down how AI is affecting over 700 different jobs, and it asks that question everyone's kind of wrestling with. Is AI going to replace you, or will it just augment your work, help you collaborate? Definitely food for thought for all of us.
Interestingly, Claude's been so popular, they've hit some scaling issues. They just put in 2 new usage caps. There's a total weekly cap and a specific one just for Claude Opus 4, their top model. Now, they say this only hits less than 5% of users, but, well, it's often the most active users, the
Yeah.
power users. And they tend to be the loudest about it. It just shows the incredible demand.
Oh, and check this out. This one's kind of mind-bending. Hunyuan World 1.0. It's a new system that creates entire editable 3D worlds from just a sentence or a picture.
Yeah.
We're not just talking videos here. These are actual environments you can, like, virtually walk around in. That's a huge jump for content creation.
Yeah. And on the business side, sources highlighted Micro One. They're a scale AI rival, apparently raising funds now at a pretty impressive $500 million valuation. They've seen huge growth revenue up 5 times this year alone, from $10 million to $50 million. And they expect to hit $100 million by September. That kind of speed really tells you about the hunger for AI infrastructure and services.
Yeah, and practical problems are getting AI solutions too. Like, is your AI agent always forgetting what you talked about earlier?
Yeah.
You can now build real long-term memory using Zepp's knowledge graphs. It helps the AI keep context, learn over time, and keeps the API cost low, which is a big plus.
You know, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes where the conversation just goes off track. So yeah, these long-term memory solutions, they seem absolutely key for anyone really using these tools seriously.
Totally. And if you're looking for automation that's maybe more powerful than Zapier, there's a great guide on using NEN. It's open source to build your own personal intelligence agent. We also saw a guide on blending, like McKinsey consulting methods with AI, turning insights into actual strategies clients might use. And just a few quick tool mentions. WordWriter says it writes 200-plus pages of research with references. Copycat automates web tasks. Startup Sonar tries to find hidden startup ideas on Reddit. And Free Image Bulk helps download lots of images from websites.
That's a lot of different tools and abilities there. What feels like the common thread running through all these diverse applications?
AI is getting incredibly specialized. It's automating really complex human tasks everywhere.
Okay, so beyond the individual tools, beyond the models themselves, there's this much larger strategic game being played globally. Our sources point to 2 very distinct, almost opposing visions for where AI is headed.
Yeah, it's a fascinating contrast. Just days after the U.S. put out its AI action plan, which mostly emphasized, deregulation, a race to global dominance led by private companies.
China presented its own plan.
And China's plan, it focuses heavily on global cooperation. Things like joint AI research, pushing for open data sets and model sharing, working towards shared computing resources,
Yeah.
really trying to broaden access.
Right. They're also pushing hard on education and access. Specifically, they're championing AI upskilling for developing nations, trying to give them a real seat at the table. And importantly, they're calling for risk management frameworks, AI ethics policies, developed with help from the UN. It's a very different governance model they're proposing.
Their plan even encourages the global developer community to co-develop AI tools together, promoting open source instead of relying on what they call Western black box APIs, those proprietary systems where you don't know what's inside, controlled by just a few big companies. It's a clear call for something more decentralized. So you can see it taking shape. 2 really different philosophies.
Yeah.
The U.S. approach seems, well, faster maybe, richer in terms of private money, but more closed. It leans heavily on giants like OpenAI, Meta, Google, kind of a Silicon Valley model.
And then China's vision is broader, shared, and explicitly open. Beijing is actively pitching itself as the AI partner for the Global South, engaging with regions the U.S. hasn't really prioritized in the same way.
It really suggests that these open models, shared data sets, they're being positioned as a direct alternative to the Western AI silos, which naturally leads to the big question. How might these 2 very different philosophies shape the future? Technology, geopolitics, all of it.
We might really be heading towards 2 distinct global AI ecosystems. 2 sex silence. All right, to kind of round things out, let's just run through a few quick hits. These really highlight how pervasive AI is becoming, just everywhere.
Okay, get this one. A viral AI-generated video. Cat riding a leopard. Got over 100 million views. It's just fun, sure, but it shows how engaging and easy this tech is becoming for, like creative stuff.
Microsoft Edge. It's basically an AI browser now. They fully launched Copilot mode, built right in. Your web browser is now an intelligent assistant.
And on the hardware side, huge news. Tesla just signed a massive $16.5 billion deal with Samsung for AI chips. That's not just big money. It signals the insane demand for specialized hardware as these models keep growing.
Yeah, and related to that, tech giants like Google and Meta, they're investing heavily in nuclear and hydropower, basically building their own energy grids to power their massive data centers. That's a huge, often overlooked sign of the monumental energy needs future AI is going to demand.
And finally, sort of bringing it back to geopolitics, a group of 20 security experts urged former President Trump to restrict NVIDIA H20 chip sales to China, pointing directly at the high stakes involved in controlling this advanced AI tech.
AI is just rapidly integrating into pretty much every single part of our daily lives. Mid-roll sponsor, Red. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big idea that really stands out is just the incredible speed, the velocity, and the multifaceted nature of AI development right now. It's moving unbelievably fast on so many different fronts all at once.
Yeah, we're seeing these cutting-edge models, like maybe GPT-5, being built and tested right out in the open.
Yeah.
And they're showing capabilities that are, frankly, almost hard to believe sometimes.
And at the exact same time, practical AI tools are just exploding, making automation, content creation, even starting a business way easier and more accessible for regular users, for solopreneurs.
And then on that global scale, these two fundamentally different visions for AI's future, they're really solidifying, potentially leading to these distinct global ecosystems, each with its own rules, its own approach.
We've certainly covered a lot today. It's probably worth taking a moment, to think about how these developments might impact your own work or maybe just your daily life. The ripples are definitely already spreading.
And maybe here's a provocative thought for you to mull over. As AI gets more modular, more distributed, all these specialized agents and open source models popping up. Well, the whole idea of one big AI, like one single superintelligence, become less important than having this vast network of many interconnected specialized intelligences working together.
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time, Utiro Music.